Yo yo, it's your boy here, Frisco Fahs here with another deck profile here. Just got done with the regional, and I wanted to do this deck profile. I got sixth place at the core regional this weekend. Went 7-1. I'll go over the matchups at the end here. I went 7-1, got sixth place, and I did it with, you guessed it, my boy Soul Striker. This is the reboot leader. Just a quick reference to the previous video. I'm not going to go over all the interactions of this deck. I did it about a couple weeks ago. That will describe all the interactions with the Galactic Buster. It's going to be very similar, but I'm going to run through it. But if you want, definitely watch the other video to go over all the interactions. It's going to go over the deck and just let you guys know what the cards are and go over the matchups and call it a day from there. If you don't know what this leader does, it's really good. Front and side, attack one, draw one, or you can untap one. He awakens when you have a 3-cost specified blue unison, and then you can awaken, draw two. Awaken side, when he swings, draw one, untap two, mono blue energy. Really good generic leader in itself. So, first, I want to go over the unisons because that's how you awaken in the deck. I still have the 4 Gogeta unisons, really good. Really good for removal, really good to play your skillless cards as well, and makes your opponent have to deal with it or deal with the battle card on board before they can deal points of damage. Really important. We still have the one Raditz Giant Force. This is just basically curve, right? Or just it's straight numbers. This is just better at the baby unison just because it's kind of like a 2-for-1 with double blocks. And you want 5 3 specified cost unisons in your deck. 4 is a little too light, so that's why you just need that 5th unison. What's good to note about these unisons here is that they don't gain any markers, right? There's no effect that actually gains any markers, so they're typically going to die on that turn 3. Usually they're not going to survive the previous turn. If they do, perfect, it's all gravy from there. But typically the unison you want to replace them with is the Boo unison. Really good card. Really good for removal, really good for not losing the game, right? He's a blocker and he has -1 removal when they attack with a battle card. Also, he's a 20k double strike. He +0 draw a card on tap and energy at the end of the turn. Super synergistic with the entire deck in itself. We have the 3 God Sealing, right? Fours, the number is going to be between 3 and 4. It always is going to be. 4, you kind of see it too much. 3, you just kind of don't charge it. You could just leave it in your hand and kind of prioritize it based on the matchups, right? Against like Yellow Mecha, card really shines there, but against like Dark Broly, maybe not so great. But it just kind of depends on the matchup and then how you need it and what decks you need it against. But typically, actually, I probably use it more offensively than I use defensively, though, which is kind of interesting. For the skillless engine, we have 4 of the Gohan 2-drop, just 4 skillless. This is the main target you play with the 3-drop Gogeta Unison, right? So with the -1, you get another 20k swinger. You get to put into play. So it's really just you get 3 attacks for 3 energy. Well, really 1 energy because you get to untap 1. And then we have the 3 SS2 Gohan, and that's basically 4 cost. You get the ramp 1, 30k triple strike. You get to decide to sack energy as removal, put bottom deck the entire board, and then he gets to activate himself. So he could be a 30k dual attack triple striker to remove the board, or just a 30k triple strike ramp 1, right? So depending on the matchup, you can debate how you want to use the card. Sometimes you could just use it for the ramp and not use it for the removal, or you could have the removal. It's a very flexible card in itself. Another way to get the skills card out, because you need to have the skills card in play to activate the 4 mana. You have the 3 Nimbus Masters. Really good turn 1 or turn 2 play, and really good for decks that like want to try to deal crit or deal that early damage, like against Aggro Sin or against like King Vegeta, right? You don't actually have to take those critical points of damage. You can just stop it here, and you get value from that life protecting it, right? You protect it, grab the skills, and you get to attack back at their battle card too. A lot of value you get from this card, not just from playing the 10-drop or having extra synergy with it. You get to get battle cards on board for 1 energy while protecting life and not taking that points of damage. It provides a lot of value in that regards because you just get to stay at a high life when you want to. All right. Next, I want to go over the Galactic Buster engine. So we have 4 Galactic Busters, 3 Bojack on a Rampage, 4 Bojack the Evildoer. I don't put any more Zangia the Evildoer when you combo it from draw a card. It was just 2 boom or bust, and it wasn't a very flexible card. It's like the worst card in your hand, but it's a really good card in your energy. So we just have 4 Galactic, 3 Bardock on the Rampage, and 4 Bojack Evildoer. This package in itself is just really good and really strong for both offensively and defensively. There's times where I even did this offensively. You lose the energy, but I still combo this for my energy, and I still resolved it on like the turns that I wanted to go in and like try to win the game, which is really strong, right? So if it's just like you use the energy, then you combo it, and then you can able to still play it for 2 other energy that you didn't sack for the Galactic Buster. So really good. I definitely like it. The whole engine basically replaces itself, right? So you're actually still drawing cards off the top of your deck with Galactic Buster, and even on a Rampage, draws you 2 cards when combined with Galactic Buster. So, and it's early spot removal too, which is super important. What with Evildoer, because blue typically doesn't have removal in the first 2 turns of the game. Evildoer definitely solves that issue, and a 20k dual attacker is very good. Next, I want to go over super combos. I have 2 draw 2 bottom deck 1, 2 Zeno super combos. Zeno is really good for having your 5th and 6th copy of Galactic Buster, because you get to put the Galactic Buster in your hand and put a 10 or 1 cost combo card from your hand back in your energy, so it's like a 2 for 1. Really good in that regards. Also just really good, just kind of declunking your hand if need be, or if you need to find a card, right? You're like, oh, I don't have a Unison in my hand, but I charge one within the first 2 to 3 turns of the game. You can just Zeno and put the Unison back and just replace it with an Evildoer. So they swung at your Unison, killed it, but you need a second one, and this helps you find those extra pieces in your deck. So it's really good in that part. Too. Wouldn't change these ratios. I would definitely keep them the same. Some of the generic extra cards, we got 3D Magic in the deck. I would keep this at 3. 4 would be probably too many. It's going to be 3 and 4. The 4th one probably lives in the side deck, maybe. But yeah, 3 felt good. It just untap 2, mono blue, tap 1, untap 2 blue energy. 4 Senzu Bean makes a lot of sense because it's a deck that lives in the combo step, and you want to be able to bean your leader, give a 5k for the turn, and do your Galactic Buster plays all on the same turn, and it's really good in that part. So I would definitely keep this the same here in itself. Next is the draw engine in the deck, right? I'm going to go over that part. It's going to be the deck already draws a lot of cards, but I still play 4 Saiyan Instincts. So I actually compare this a lot to Unite Assemble with Mecha, right? Because Mecha basically, takes a life to draw 3 cards, right? They draw 1 card from life and draw 2 out from deck. So this actually just protects life, but then draws 2 cards, right? So you get to combo it, draw 2, and then your leader swings and untaps 2 and draws 1. So you can basically just turn your leader to a draw 3, which basically nets to a Unite Assemble. So it's just basically like that same concept in the deck. This is how you keep pace with Mecha with drawing cards, right? So Mecha has a ton of cards in your hand, your deck has a ton of cards in hand, so you kind of even itself out. This card is definitely a staple, 100% for. I wouldn't take any out, 100%. Let's go over some of the one-ofs. We got 1 Secret Identity, right? This is just for removal against aggro decks. You definitely need it in the deck. I wouldn't change that part about it. I had one Overwhelm was fine. You don't really want more than 1 than that. 1 Baby Golden Avenger. This is good against anything of the slower decks, but just a good counter. Really good against red decks as well. To stop Violent Rays, VIPs, and things like that. Definitely want that in the deck. I like it both at 1 because when you need it, you just have to find it. We have the 1 Turning the Tide for best of 1. Really good because it can be a 6 energy play, or turn 6 play, I should say, with Gohan 10 drop because you get to ramp 1. Really good against Blue Baby and anything slow, even against Blue Yellow Mecha, right? Because those games can kind of take a while. This kind of puts them on a clock because as soon as you get to this, you basically win the game. Last but not least, we got the Baby Hatchiak. probably the best seeker in the game right now, especially after the errata. It's so hard to play around. There's only a few answers, cooler, with the Swift Retaliation is probably the most notable answer, but just ending your opponent's turn and just buying that extra turn, it just wins games in itself, honestly. Just because you get to have that whole extra turn, you don't have to utilize their resource, and your opponent can't utilize their full turn to their extent, or they have to play around it the entire time, right? Even against yellow decks, they basically can't commit. They always have to leave 3 energy open, right? Because as soon as they go to below 3 energy open, this is always online, and they can never commit for game in itself. That is it for the best of one version of the deck. I played 2 blue babies. I won both of those. I played 3 blue yellow mecha. I lost to 1. I beat the other 2, and I beat an aggro sin. And I had 2 concedes. First 2 rounds, people conceded. This is one of the entry prizes. Probably happened a lot in the first 2 rounds of the game. It's about 240 players, so that was probably going to happen. Against a blue baby, the most important thing you want to do in the deck is just ramp with 10-drop Gohan and just leave it on board. A lot of times I have the Boo Unison on board, but you just don't swing with it because they're going to just -1 it anyway. So you just leave it on board and never swing with the battle card. And you just pressure Unison with your Unison and your leader and just get out negates that way. And you just never swing with battle cards first and just leave this on board. And then you just sack the removal if they end up getting a board or play a boonies or whatnot. So I just kind of developed a board and just went into Turning the Tide on turn 7 or turn 6. And then just as I ramped with this, and you go to Turning the Tide, and you get to Turning the Tide first, or if you're ahead on board, you just win the game because you're just going to outvalue them anyways, because you're going to have a triple striker, probably an evil doer on board, and other battle cards plus Unison. Even if they're at 4 life, which you're going to get to 4 life, they're just going to lose, even if they have Boo Unison, because you can kill it with your Unison leader swings first before they can do the -1. So that's what you do against the matchup against Blue Baby. Against Blue Yellow Mecha, Saiyan Instincts is definitely your biggest asset in the deck, right? Because it allows you to swing with leader without having to commit to any other battle card or unison first, which is really important. Also, one mistake, I lost to David Fujimura. Congrats on getting top 4. I didn't play around Zamasu. I did play around Zamasu Super Combo too much and just took the power of a Super Saiyan loss. I kind of changed that up in the last round against Jordan Beard. When I won, I just ignored Zamasu Super Combo, and I was like, all right, whatever. I'm just going to totally ignore it because, we're just playing Krillins. As soon as I saw one, I was like, all right, we're not playing Zamasu. And as soon as you see the free combo card, either the Bojack or the hit card, you just always just assume you're under the assumption they're not on Zamasu. So they're not on Zamasu Super Combo, this card is really good. Also, your Unison is really good, Gogeta, because they're really relying on Power of a Super Saiyan to tap this down. But if you swing this first, and you just leave leader up and you just don't fear Zamasu Super Combo, you're getting 1, 2, and then you get to do the -1, 3 swings that they really can't interact with. Also, leaving up God Sealing for any other type of play, right? So if you leave God Sealing up with Unison swings and leader swing, you're getting 4 attacks off with something they can't interact with, and they have to play around this. It makes it super hard for them to do that. And the turns that you don't want to commit to any of your energy, you could just say an instincts, draw 2, and then just pass kind of thing. So that's what you really want to do against Mecha in itself. That's all my matchups. I got top 6, or I got 6th place, which is cool. Definitely like the deck a lot. I still think it's going to be really good. Post-ban, post-errata, it's going to be one of probably the best decks. It was already, in my opinion, one of the best decks going into it. It just was kind of slept on. Now it's going to get kind of a little bit more love as you're going to see going forward, and we'll see where the meta takes us from there. Shout out to FOE, PPG. Yeah. And then also shout out to my boys here, 3XG. And then we will talk to you guys later. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Bye.